So real quick today on my way to work, I want to talk about time freedom versus monetary freedom, or time wealth versus financial wealth. So the main difference between these two is that time wealth is exactly how it sounds. You have time on your side, and a lot of people consider time as the most important, valuable currency that we have, more so than actual money, right? Because money can always be printed up, income can always be increased, you can always make more money, but time, there are ways to extend time that you're alive, but generally, you have a limit. You have a biological limit of how long you can be alive. Therefore, time is a scarce resource, whereas money is an infinite resource. So you can look at it that way. So if you're time wealth, you can argue that time wealth is more valuable than having actual monetary. It's more valuable than having actual monetary wealth. So me right now, I am prioritizing monetary wealth, and I use the term wealth very loosely. Obviously, I'm not wealthy, but I am choosing monetary wealth by going to work over time wealth, because now the opportunity cost is that my entire day is going to be spent working for someone else, earning a paycheck, and in return I get paid, but I lose out on the entire day that I would have had to do other things. Say I have hobbies, or want to work on my own business, or I want to go visit someone, or I want to go do something. Now the day is basically given away, and I can't do any of those things that I would otherwise want to do other than working a job I don't love. So you have to decide for yourself, right? To me, time wealth makes a lot more sense than monetary wealth, because I'm a very minimalistic and simple guy. I don't need much to be happy. I don't need much physical things. I prefer having time. But right now, the situation that I'm in, I am prioritizing monetary wealth temporarily for a few reasons. And there are going to be times in your life that you might need to prioritize monetary wealth, and that's completely fine. You don't need to just completely all the time just be doing nothing and having a ton of free time. It's good to have a balance. Sometimes if you need something, or if you want something, go out and work for it, earn a little extra. But if there's nothing that you really want or need, you have everything you need, you just need to pay the grocery bill and and rent, work as little as you need to just to scrape by. There's really nothing wrong with doing that. It's all about how much of your time you want to give up to pursue monetary wealth, and what you're going to get in exchange for that monetary wealth. Because remember, everything needs to be, you need to value your time, and realize that you're exchanging your time, your limited, scarce resource of time, for something that is material and physical. And unless that thing really enhances your life or brings you joy, there's really no point to sacrifice your scarce time resource to obtain something material that's physical that you don't really need, or it doesn't bring you joy. Now, if it does bring you joy, let's say you want a brand new camera because you love to take photographs, and you're really into wildlife, or you're really into working for something that involves a camera, or you're a hobbyist, or you like making videos like this, that would be a good investment, obviously, because it brings you joy, and that's worth that time investment. But if you're working just to have bougie steaks every weekend, and buy nice cars and all these other things that, yeah, they're great every once in a while, but they won't bring you lasting happiness, then that might not be a worthy trade-off for your time. So you just kind of have to weigh the pros and cons, and decide for yourself, what is worth my time? And what do I value my time at? Do you value your time at $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $20 an hour? What is worth it to you to get up and go and trade your your life span pretty much for a check. And up until now, I'm 30 years old. Up until now, that number has been way too low. And once my debts are repaid, and once I'm in a position where I can break free from my current job, those standards will change drastically. And I will be very, very picky about how I spend my time and how I value my time, and who I spend my time on and what I spend my time on. Because I'm now realizing how much of my time has been wasted, and how valuable that time is. So just as a point of reference, if you were to ask someone on their deathbed, someone that has had a long life and has pursued money all their life, let's say they're 90 years old, they had a good long run, and they're terminally ill and they're about to pass, and 9 times out of 10, I would say, based on what I've heard, people typically say their biggest regret in life is doing something for someone else and not using their time for their own benefit, and just giving up all their time, not valuing it enough, not realizing how scarce it is. And then by the time it runs out, people realize, oh crap, my entire life is behind me. I've spent all of my time. I have nothing left. I really didn't get to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do in my lifetime because I never thought that death was coming. But we need to be humble and realize that death comes for everyone, and it comes at different times, and you just never know when it will be. So it's so important. And I think people that have had run-ins with death are more conscious of this and more aware. But I think we can learn a lesson from those people and realize a lot of those people that have another chance at life drastically change their ways the second time around. So they either pursue a career or a hobby or something else that they've always loved and they've been too afraid to, or they haven't had the motivation to do. They do things that is outside of their comfort zone. A lot of these people they're grateful to be alive. And if we were all grateful to be alive and we all lived every day like we were grateful to be alive, things would be so much different. Things would be so much better. Our lives would be so much more fulfilled. And we would prioritize our time wealth over our monetary wealth. So that was just a quick rant before work this morning. I'm driving, and I probably shouldn't even be recording while I'm driving. But I wanted to get that off my chest, that I've been prioritizing money too long, and I will start prioritizing time more, because it is a much, much more valuable resource than money could ever be.